We're common loaded for bear. Here we go, boys. The moment you guys have all been waiting for. What did I buy in October or September? It's October. It's October. Let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, I race on a budget. Dad, 2 kids. You know, just a normal job, normal guy, blue collar. I'm a mechanic. Anyway, so I finally upgraded some stuff in my program. My buddy kind of wanted out of his stuff, made me some killer deals I couldn't resist. I used to have a 26-foot enclosed, the base bare plywood trailer that me and my wife painted the floor, and I kind of gypsy wagoned it out and made it work. And I parked my golf cart and my Nova in there. So my buddy sold me his trailer. It is a 34-foot 2019 Phil's race trailer, and his new golf cart. So I sold my stuff, and everything in my program is just kind of small upgrades. So that I sold my stuff, and that was only about a $6,500 difference. That's pretty good. So had to do that. Let's check it out. It's a little faded, so it needs a little bit of buff work. But man, that thing's nice. Now I need a bigger truck. Yeah, little practice buff spot. Got an awning. So the outside's a little hammered, but the inside not hammered. And here's the new golf cart. So we're gonna unpack this thing, and you guys are gonna get to see what's in here. So before I flip this around, I wanted to explain to you guys kind of my plan and thoughts. So my buddy, I ended up buying his car too. It's a project. It is a Vanishing Point car that has never been raced and not been finished. It's set up for a Hemi. It was set up for a turbo thing. My buddy was converting it over to ProCharger, so he kind of modified some stuff. He started some projects on it. They need finished. I don't really know everything I need to do to it, but it was a good deal, and I like the good deals. And so I'm gonna roll this thing out. Quick little walk around video. So I grabbed the steering components. They're not hooked up. I think the rack had to be moved forward because he was switching to ProCharger. I'm going to starting off, I'm going to take this aluminum. I'm going to press out these little dings in the firewall and try to hook the steering up, because I want to push this thing and flip it in here, but fire bottles ran, it's all tabbed out. Fire lines. The original, there was a brake lever here, and the master cylinder was actually behind the seat. That was cut out. So I know the master cylinder has to be mounted. There's belly pans for all this stuff. There's this cut for a Chevy starter, so I'm either going to take one of the many mid plates I have and see if I can copy this, or just cut it out and cut it out for a Chrysler starter. We will see. Got one tub in here, but I may have to remount it. Might want to move it up. I don't know what I want to do yet. The bummer about these cars is, like my Dart that I used to have, is the tire gets into the quarter panel. So I was looking, like pro stock cars, they move this out. And I don't think you have to move it out a ton. But we'll see. We'll see what I want to do. I know he struggled with that too. It's got spindle mounts up front. And that thing is light. I didn't feel very good on my hip. But he also cut the rockers out, so this lower rocker needs remounted. But he cut out a ton of weight on that thing. So the doors, when I saw this thing, all the glass was mounted in it when I went and looked at it in Washington. And he obviously took it apart to do some paint work. But yeah, what I'd like to do, get the mid plate situated, get the steering situated, and set that in there. And then slide my tranny in, mess with the tranny mount. I think this needs to be finish welded. But I'd like to make sure the motor fits and the motor plate and everything, the angles are right. So that's going to be step one. Get the mid plate bolted in here where I don't have to take it back out ever. And then I'd like to get this thing weighed, because I don't want to, when I switched to the Nova, I did it for a big weight savings, and then the weight savings wasn't that dramatic, but it is a better car. My Dart wasn't Molly, and it wasn't a 6.0 cert. And that's a nice car, but it's a ton of work to finish something like this. Like, there's a lot of stuff done, but I don't want to undertake something again only to discover that it's not light. I don't want to do that to myself. So steering, mid plate. That's where we're going to start and press that thing out. My OCD will just bug the shit out of me. There was a windshield plate. It's over there. It needs some fab work. I think when he cut the door jambs and stuff out, that stuff needs needs sealed up, because there was a factory, I think some factory components still there. But he cut out like another 75 pounds. This thing, when I weighed it in Washington, it had GT55 frame turbos, and the front end was cut for those. But it was 350 pounds lighter than this car when I came home and weighed it and took the same components out. So we'll see if I misweighed it or did something wrong, but the hope will be that this thing is sub 2,500 pounds with a turbo Hemi in it. And that's the goal, and I think it's doable. So if this is everything it's cracked up to be, that's getting sold. If this is not everything it's cracked up to be, this is getting sold. So that's where I'm at. Alright, I thought it best to transfer punch from the bell housing into the mid plate to locate my starter holes, and that worked pretty well. I like a challenge. So these brackets, my buddy had a Minor Brothers Hemi. These things were way out here, which is probably for a big block Chevy block. That's kind of normal. So anyway, and they were moved. So took me a while to get this positioned, and he's stuck up really high, so it was hard to set the motor. It was hard to set the motor in here because he's stuck up super high. So got this thing nice and centered, nice and flat. These are just build problems. Cut these brackets off, and then I always have a slew of parts. So this is a McCamus bracket. So I cut the front plate. So this bar used to be back towards the car. And I like where it is. So I'm going to put that. I'm going to weld a little bracket so it's flat with the plate. Notch that. Or cut it or whatever. Clean it up. And I got this thing rigged up to weld. So this will be my plate that grabs the motor plate. Just got to make sure I make 2 different sides. So I'm going to weld that up real quick. And then clamp them on, drill my holes, flip it around, tack it. And then when I get them all in here, got this already sanded down. Then I can come get all that crap out. I'll probably pull the motor again to do that. So yeah, did a little bit. My phone died, I'm sorry. So one thing me and my son did is I got these Pro Jacks. I just widened this 3/8 of an inch on each side. So this would fit both cars. And then I can sell those Pro Jacks that came with this thing. Because my back one works. Yeah, this thing's gonna be pretty sweet. I don't know if my intake's gonna clear the hood. I don't think it's going to. So that's dumb. But things you gotta do. Got this thing all fitted up. I took the time and shortened all the bolts. So they got a working shoulder and there's not a bunch of excess material. I did the same thing on the mid plate. So cruising right along, it just needs welded onto the frame. Here we go. I am tacking the top of these things so they don't move around. There's no weight on the front of the motor. And then I'm gonna tack the bottom, same kind of deal. And then pop the motor plate out. And then really crank on them. I don't want you guys thinking I'm like grinding my welds. I'm just cleaning up those brackets that I cut off the front of that thing. Reassembly time here. I'm messing with this windshield mount. I just wanted to see what they had cooking. All right, I'm putting this thing together. And then I think that thing's ready for some paint. I'm going to call this a wrap. Let me show you guys what we did. So, geez, focus. Motor plates welded in. Had to do a little welding down here. So, that's done. I could take the weight off of it. I'm going to start looking at mocking up some other things. I was messing with the steering. The oil pump mounts right there. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Either this rack needs to get cranked up or something. Or I can run it there, but I won't be able to do it anytime soon because there's oil lines that have to run in there, and it becomes kind of a nightmare because it's a dry sump, dual stage dry sump pump. That's kicked out for it, so that's nice. One of the things I was messing with too was this window plate, and this is lower than that side, so I think that's kind of why it got ripped out. I don't know what I'm going to do there. So, yeah. Motor's in. I'm ready to try to bolt the tranny in. I also just drilled this out real quick. McCamus makes a super nice mount that's in a triangle shape. And this is a slider. Makes it really easy to slide the tranny back and pull the tranny. So you drill in the center of this bar and then put that plate. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the tranny in here. I'm going to fix the back of it. And then I'll probably work on mounting the front clip again. See if the intake clears, which I'm not really that hopeful that it will. It doesn't look like it's going to. Be a miracle if it does. What else do we got? That's about it for now. So motor plate's mounted. My Nova, I run a 5/8 front plate because there's nowhere to mount limiters to prevent the motor from moving forward and backwards. And I think this will still be okay to drop the motor in here. Might have to come in at an angle. But we'll know. That's the kind of fit stuff that they don't really talk about in race cars. Like my Nova is very, very easy to work on because I spend a lot of time fucking around with stuff like that. I can pull the motor in 30 minutes. If this thing's in the way and you got to crank the front of the motor up, it just becomes a bitch. So a good race car should be easy to work on, and we will see. Thanks for following along.